Hi, everyone. Welcome to Career Insights. I am Bernardo Tirado, also known as Professor Tirado. We are here to help you with your making your life easier by bringing you smart technology products, book recommendations, and author interviews. Speaking of which, I am super excited today because we are joined by Joe Peach Graves, a professional traveler and award-winning international speaker, poet, and author. Why don't we have a warm welcome to Joe? Joe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Aloha, welcome. That is so amazing. Great. I just saw that for the first time. That was beautiful.
Aw, thank you, Joe. So, how are you doing today?
I am amazing. I had a great start to my morning and a great night last night, and I'm so excited to be on here with you. So, thank you for asking. How was your day?
It was great. I can't complain. The weather's getting a lot better here in New York City, and you, I'm sure, have beautiful weather over there in Hawaii. So, I'm really super grateful that you're being able to join us today. And for those of you that are joining us through YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, please come over to Amazon.live, the Amazon.com/live, and feel free to join us in the conversation that we're having today. So, Joe, if you don't mind, share us a little bit more about your journey. How did you get to where you are today? And then we can get into furthermore about your book as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I've lived in Hawaii most of my life. My parents met here and they moved to Colorado, had me and my sister, and it was cold there, so we decided to come back home. And being raised by my parents was an interesting part of my journey. My mom and dad, when they met, they were kind of hustlers. So my dad, you know, he left the military after experiencing some serious racism and decided if you can't join him, beat him. And so he became a Black Panther and learned a lot of different like hustles and scam games and stuff like that. And so my family was always moving, and we were moving kind of in the we're on the run sort of thing. So I had a lot of experience meeting new people and becoming fast friends with people, which was a huge part of my life. And I also gained a love for travel. I never like to stay places too long. As far as I love to go on vacation and see the world. uh, in high school, I went out of the country for the first time and just really got hooked at that point. And everything I've done in my life has been surrounding, the travel industry and things like that. And, you know, after working in the travel industry, working for Disney, working for Norwegian Cruise Line for years and years, my daughter was born. And that really did something to me. It made me see that I wanted to have the freedom to be able to spend time with her and really get to know her. And you know, in that realization, I started looking for opportunities to grow. I went back to college. Um, I found the industry of network marketing, which was really powerful. Where I met my mentor. His name is Johnny Wimbry, and he's just an incredible man. And right now, we belong to a company where we get paid by helping people save money on travel. And that has been really really nice. And also through meeting him, I was able to be connected with a project he has where he helps authors share their story in a way where they're connected with high level people so that their story actually gets heard. So that's kind of how I led to the book. But living in Hawaii is amazing. You know, I believe that this is paradise, and it's given me an energy to want to impact the world. And through travel and meeting my ex-wife on a cruise ship and creating such a beautiful thing as my daughter, and learning what I do write about in the book, which is the power of compersion. And, that's the idea of having joy for the joy of others as opposed to jealousy. And, I came to that philosophy in life through working at Disney, actually. When I was working at Disney, I had such an interesting experience watching people walk by the characters, because I worked with the characters. I helped Goofy come to life. And when people would see Goofy giving a hug to a small child, and they weren't the child, they weren't even the child's family, but they would light up, that experience, that connection that they would have to seeing someone experience joy really got my mind going. I did a lot of research into, what that was, and compersion popped up, which, was really interesting because it's also associated with, alternative lifestyles and things like that. So it's not as often, spoken about, but at its core, that idea of having joy for the joy of others is something that, really drives my life and my business, as I, explore the world and work to help people.
So it sounds like, firstly, thank you for sharing the background,
Yeah.
based on your, your upbringing, your experiences, and the fact that you've been a world traveler, worked for Disney, Norwegian Cruise Lines. So it sounds like travel is something that's very big, about a big part of who you are and what has
Yeah.
shaped your view. So how has this experience then helped build the concept of this book? And for those that are just watching, we're talking with Joe Peach Graves. He has written the book, The Power of Mental Wealth. And so we're featuring him and wanted to get to know a little bit more about what inspired you to really put pen to paper to, share some of the learnings from your own experiences.
Yeah. What I've learned through travel is that it's something that really feeds the soul. It's something that, inspires so many people. And you hear, as you read different entrepreneurs' journeys, and I read a lot, it's oftentimes a trip, some sort of exploration, some sort of journey that sparks the thing that moves you forward. And in my philosophy of compersion, as I traveled the world, and my family and friends in Hawaii were not, finding a way to, be of service to them by not only, shining my light and saying, hey, it's possible, guys, look at me, but also coming in contact with, a company that can help them have the incentive. Because, a person saving money when they're going to be spending money, it's not really about the saving the money. The saving the money is the inspiration to make a decision. And so being able to give people access to a way to save money so that they can travel gets them to travel. And if I help anybody leave their house, I feel like I have made their life better. They may go somewhere that I want to go, and I'm so happy for them for having that experience. Or maybe going somewhere that I've gone, and I'm so happy for them having that experience, either through me or because of me. They want to do it themselves. And so, the story in the book actually, comes from a trip that I took, because I went with one of my clients, one of my mentors at the same time. He's an amazing man. His name is Ray Carr. He is the one of the cruise directors for the World Cruise with Oceania Cruise Lines, and just he makes a person's vacation fantastic. He's an incredible man. He wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And because here I am, a professional traveler, he says, Joe, you should come with me. You should climb this mountain. I had never really considered that before, but in his excitement, I decided to do it, and it was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Climbing that mountain and reaching the top and being able to say that I did something that, not a lot of people in the world do, and justifiably so. It is really hard. But through that trip, I had a true test of compersion, and it really tested my philosophy in life, and that's kind of overcoming that with that mindset is what is a story that I tell, and in telling that story to my mentors and people in my life, it just was a great fit because as I left the mountain, I got to the airport on my way home, and my wife of then about 9 years wrote me a Facebook message that she was going to divorce me and she was at her boyfriend's house, and that when I came back, I could pick up my daughter and we would finalize the divorce. And hearing that information in that moment was gut wrenching in a lot of ways, but I realized that I had a choice to be happy for her. And in making that choice to be happy for her, I feel like I not only suffered less, but I had an opportunity to really be able to speak about that idea from a place of realness, because it's easy to be happy for someone else when it doesn't hurt you,
Right.
you know? But when it does hurt you, when it's really personal and it's something that you built your whole life, it's like that poem, If. If you can make a heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. I love that poem and I love that idea, but I also believe that once you've gotten through the loss, taking the time to share the story of the loss and how you got through it can serve others. And so that's kind of what led me to the book, and it's that connection to wanting to give back and wanting other people to experience the world in a positive way that introduced me to my mentor so that I could even get on the book. So it's all breadcrumbs, the thread of things, but it was an amazing journey.
Yeah, and I think that when it comes to different sorts of hardships or pain points in one's life, there are decisions that one has to make as to whether or not one wallows in that state of pain or what have you, or one tries to look at things a little bit differently. Not that it makes it any better or worse. It's just a matter of
No.
how do you manage through some of these challenges that we all experience, whether it is, as you mentioned, getting notified about getting divorced, or the fact that you have the ability to really think through how to bring travel to people who probably are not used to getting out there or traveling, or thinking that it's impossible because of financial reasons. And even
Yeah.
more so, if you think about now with the whole pandemic, the whole travel industry has been on a halt. And
Yeah.
you are seeing some creative ways where you can do tours of like Petra in, I think it's in Jordan, but different locations where you're able to see even museums. So bringing newer technology to be able to allow for that. And so when we think about what you've written, what messages do you share then to those that are watching on Amazon Live? And if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, please come over to careerinsights.live. We're on Amazon Live here with Joe Peach Graves. He's talking about his book and also talking a bit more about the philosophy that he follows that has allowed him to really get to where he is today. So the question I was asking is like, what can you share to our audience in regards to your thoughts around Persian and what lessons can they glean from what you were talking about?
Yeah. You had asked both about, Compersion, which I talk a lot about, but also you'd asked about travel and how that kind of feels now, right? Because this world that we live in, the idea of, utilizing technology to your move, improve your life, keep you safer, and keep more of your money in your pocket is what the company that I'm with is all about. They're a technology company based on giving. And in that mindset of giving other people's joy and knowing that that's going to come back to you like a boomerang, right? That is what our company's name is. It's I Boomerang. And it's the idea of do you boomerang cuz I boomerang. That idea of, you know, listening to our audiences. So what I would say out there to you people who are listening to this, you know, when you're wondering what value to give to the world, and you also want to improve your own life, understand we all have heard of the golden rule, right? The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The platinum rule is do unto others as they would have you do unto them. In other words, ask the questions of people to find out what it is that they want and then give that to them. And oftentimes, the thing that you want in life is the thing that you want to give the most. And so that's both with travel and compersion: is if you want to be safer, give safety. If you want to explore the world, help others explore the world. If you want to give love because you want love, that's the best way to do it, is to give. So that is kind of the major theme of not only the book, my business, my life. That's the philosophies that I follow.
So you just covered the philosophies that you follow. And so when we talk about your business, what's the business that you're in? Can you share us a little bit more about that and how people can learn more about it as well?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm an ambassador for a technology company. And as an ambassador, basically I spread the word about, different products, services, our financial opportunities that we have. And when people decide to, participate in those, if they, you know, save money or make money, I also make money. So it's really, really powerful for me. The basis of the business is this idea of the PRIB, which is the perpetual residual income builder. And it's a technology model wherein the things that we already do, the way that we spread the word about, different apps that we use, different websites that we use to help our friends, we get a warm fuzzy feeling inside when we give something cool to someone else, but we don't actually participate in the earning part, right? So this company basically allows people to give people free access to technologies in, the travel space is where our core was. And that's kind of the front door into the PRIB. And then through people entering the front door, we're able to learn about them and use that data to provide a better service, similar to Amazon, right? For Amazon, it was books. You would buy a book, and then they would know, oh, this person bought a cooking book. They're going to be cooking. Let me put cooking utensils in their feed, right? They would learn about a person through what they purchased. We just decided to do it with travel. So when a person travels, they provide us with certain data and we learn about them. So through people traveling, we learn that when people travel, they like to use rideshare. And, what are the problems in the rideshare industry that we can fix? So we purchased a rideshare company. And now when people use our rideshare company, they can choose their vibe. With the pandemic, people are wearing masks all the time. So we, partnered with a company that created a wearable technology where you can place it under your mask on your septum, and it provides you with the power of essential oils so that you can enhance your mood. We also, found a company that, and this just launched. It's super, super exciting. It's a foam, antimicrobial foam that once you apply it, it creates a biochemical glove. It's like an invisible glove on your hand. And this glove is resistant not only to, bacteria and viruses and things like that, but also like acid. Like it's like wearing a latex glove without having to wear one, and it works for 4 hours. It's incredible. People have been, receiving a lot of money as far as stimulus and unemployment and all of these things because of the pandemic, and they're trying their hand at investing without the knowledge behind it. So we launched a trading education software to help people learn how to do that called Elevate. And then we have a program that just straight saves people money on their bills. They upload their bill to our site Bill Genius, and when they do so, if we save them money, that's the only time they get charged. So it's a bunch of different things all surrounding this one Prib. And as we continue to add products and services to, based on the information we find out from people, what they are using in the world of technology, the ambassadors, like myself, every person that we find that wants one of these products, every time they use them or any future products, we have, equity in their data, right? So, you send somebody to see a movie. If they like an actor that they saw in that movie, imagine getting paid every time they go to see that actor. Type of thing, it's you did the work of connecting a person with something of value, and somebody gets paid for that. It's just generally not the general population, and our business is designed to fix that.
Sounds like fantastic evolving technology that you're involved with. So, when we think about the power of mental wealth, and when I first put it, I thought it was mental health, and I realized it's mental wealth. If you can share a little bit more about the spirit behind what was the thought behind creating this book, what was the goal that you were trying to share with others that would be reading it?
Yeah, I mean, it was really amazing that I was even able to participate in the book. It was something where the book was complete, and one of the authors decided to drop out, and they needed someone to fill the space. Uh, and I was given 2 weeks to write my story. But luckily, because I had told my story so many times, I knew it like the back of my hand. I wrote it in 2 days. And the whole purpose behind it for me was threefold. First, I feel like the message behind my story, this idea of compersion, is something that will make the world a better place. I want that thought process to be a philosophy that people recognize and live by because they know that it exists. I feel like so often a person only can make a choice if they know that they have that choice to make. The other big thing that, caused me to write the book is having mentorship. You know, I have a gentleman who, has served the world. He's, done over $1 billion in the travel industry, which means that people in his circle travel. This Mr. Johnny Wimbry, my mentor, and him being able to give that gift to the world of travel is something that I want to also be able to do. And so when you have a mentor and they suggest that you do something, you do it, right? It's like, is this going to help people? And, he said that it was. And so I was like, I'm down to do anything that can be of service to people. And then, finally, it was this idea that, when you write a book, you are able to have credibility. And being on a book with people like Johnny Wimbrey, Heather Monahan, Les Brown, all of the other fantastic authors that my book, my story not only gets heard, but it gets listened to. And that was a big part of becoming an author for me. And now that I've done it once, I'm looking forward to doing it again. So you're gonna hear more of my stories for sure.
Fantastic. So what's on the horizon, speaking about, writing another book? What's in the works?
Well, I have a very colorful life. I have a lot of different sort of aspects of my life that I interact with. On the subject specifically of compersion, I am part of an alternative sort of lifestyle that's a little on the racy side, and so I look forward to sharing some information about that with people who are open to the idea of exploring the things in this life that they want that maybe they have felt guilty for wanting because societally it's not normal. I feel like the worst insult a person could call me is normal. And I feel like that has helped serve me as well. I also, am a huge proponent of video games. And my belief is that, through my play of video games, I learned so many amazing life lessons. And with a combination of the parenting that I received to, go outside and play and enjoy the world, a competitive spirit that got me into sports, I was able to gain a lot from play that I feel like a lot of kids are missing out on because they get into this video game world and that world becomes their entire world, and I feel like there's a lot of misses there. So my ultimate like long-term goal is to continue to grow my financial wealth to a point where I can develop something called digital outdoor play. And digital outdoor play is going to be a company that pairs outdoor play with existing video games. So think Pokemon Go
I was thinking that when you were saying that,
meets
actually, yeah.
exactly, right? But imagine that meeting a specific game rather than being the entirety of the game. Because with a game like Pokemon Go, if you don't want to really go outside, you can't play. So now it's like a fad. You're only going outside to play. Imagine these games that people spend hours and hours and hours on, whether it's sports games, NBA 2K, Madden, whatever. Imagine being able to give them the opportunity to go outside and actually play the sport, and it counts for their gameplay in such a way where when they go outside and play, they use a ball with an accelerometer or whatever, and they're able to go on ahead and get those points in the game so that they're able to want to play. And I love that we're able to talk about this live, like being able to have people all over the world watching this. Like, I wish everyone would go to Amazon Live so they could ask us some questions, because that would be fantastic. So if you're out there in TV land watching on YouTube or Facebook, please come over to Amazon Live, check us out, careerinsights.live, and get on here and ask us some questions, because it's really incredible to be able to share things that I'm thinking with so many people around the world. That's one of the things that I've enjoyed about the pandemic, is we've all gotten a little bit more digital friendly, and that allows us to expand our reach so that as we come back together, we have a more a more aligned in-person meeting, because we've spent so much time getting to know each other before we meet. It's this idea of almost like the pen letter, um, but yeah, and the reason why I kind of came up with that idea of digital outdoor play is I also, another little side thing that I've done, when my daughter was born, I got into building playgrounds. So my good friend out here in Hawaii is one of the major playground builders on island, and I had a background in mechanical engineering in college before I started traveling. So he asked me to come and learn how to build. I did all the heavy construction stuff, setting concrete and actually putting up the poles and designing the playgrounds and selling them, and learning how to inspect them. And what you notice is kids aren't using playgrounds as much. And how to get kids to use playgrounds more, have an integrated thing within the playground where they can play and it be connected to a video game. Again, similar to a Pokemon Go, but something where the game is actually cool in and of itself, to where they so badly want to get outside and play, so that they can level up. So those are some of the things I have going on in the works. You know, the rest I'll have to save for later.
Well, I really appreciate it. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of great ideas that you're looking to explore, or if not, it's already manifesting itself. And if I think about this concept of gameplay outside, I have like my virtual reality thing over here. So maybe it's being able to, get out there and have some fun with just being able to bring some of the games to life, like and I'm definitely gonna be age myself, like Donkey Kong or Mario Brothers or something that's a
Yeah.
little more old school.
Yep. And
you know,
the power of being able to create virtual reality that is real reality, like being able to see something and knowing that if you travel to the place, you unlock it in the game.
right?
Right? You want to explore the Louvre and really be able to relive, have conversations with the artists, and things like that. Well, first you have to go, right? And that unlocks that area of the game, and different. There's so many ideas of being able to be allow this virtual, this digital connection, this technology, allowing it to make it so that we connect deeper with the world, because so many people believe that it's disconnecting us, and what it to me is it's the growing pains. It's that anytime something is being created, and really we're just at the start of this digital revolution, in my opinion. uh, Once it really gets integrated, then it's using it to transition into the world that we live in, that we all love so much. So,
Well, I have been super excited to have you here on the show. I really appreciate you being here, sharing some insights, sharing about your book as well. If you're watching here on Amazon .live.com.live, feel free to ask any questions in the chat section. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, feel free to come over on careerinsights.live and join us in the chat as well. And I guess if anyone has any questions after the fact, if they're listening in the replay, how do they go about reaching out to you if they have any questions? I know you talked about the ambassador program. You talked about all these really neat ideas, or even if they have questions about the power of mental wealth, how can people reach out to you? You're on mute. So I don't know what happened to your audio, but you're on mute. Yeah, I can't hear you yet. It's what happens when you're live, folks. Things don't always go the way you want it to. So Joe is on before. No, I can't hear you. Wait. I think, is it me? No, I can hear myself. Yeah, something is going on with your audio. You can hear me. Are you on mute by any chance on your computer? No. All right. Well, this is what I think we need to do is figure out how do we get Joe back. Let me close you out and turn you back on. Let's see if this will work. Hold on a second. Can you say, let's see? No, I can't hear you either. Not really sure what's going on, but that's what happens, folks. Let me know where we can reach out to you. If you could put it in the chat section, and we could just make sure. Okay, so you're gonna come back out. So Joe is gonna come back in. For some reason, there's some technical issues. We were just speaking to Joe specifically about not only the book that he wrote, which is The Power of Mental Wealth. He is now also sharing some ideas as it relates to future technology that he's looking into at this point in time. And so that I think is something that's very important. There you go.
Can
Now
you
you're
hear me
back.
now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well.
Awesome. Fantastic. See?
Not sure what happened, Joe, but I was letting the
know.
audience know just what we were talking about just now. And so I was saying before, if anyone had any questions, where can they reach out to you so that they can be able to ask any questions, or if there's any thoughts that come to mind?
Absolutely. So, one, you can email me at joepeach@paradiseforeverhawaii.com. That's paradiseforeverhawaii.com. And again, I'm Joe Peach, so that's the email. You can also reach out to me on, social media. I'm on Instagram as Paradise Forever Hawaii, BitClout as Paradise Forever. I'm, also on Clubhouse pretty regularly, also as Paradise Forever, because I truly believe that people deserve to live in paradise forever. And also, paradiseforeverhawaii.com is where you can learn a little bit more about the Prib and the technology company that I work with. There's a really cool live interactive presentation that you can see there. So definitely go and check that out. And honestly, I'm very open. So call me. You can
Do not
text
put your
me.
phone number. No, do not put your phone
I
number.
won't. I'm just playing. But no, write me an email. And we'll definitely connect. I appreciate you looking out for me, because
No, do not put your phone
sometimes
number out. No. Then you're going to be yelling at me. But so you have different ways of being able to reach out to Joe Peach Graves. And so I'm super excited that you were able to join us. If you are, again, on Amazon, feel free to ask any questions of Joe at this point in time, or you're more than happy to reach out to him via the mediums that he mentioned before. Joe, before we part, any other words of wisdom or that you wanted to share regarding your book or your experiences before we head out?
This world, this life that we live, is about what you do to add value to others. That's as simple as it is. And, you're on this planet for a reason. Whatever that reason is, only you and your higher power, if we believe in that, knows what that is, but it requires action. And as you're going about your life taking action, you have to understand that, what you give does come back to you. And also, you have to serve from a full cup. So take care of yourself, because you can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself. So, give to yourself, give to others, live a life of compersion, and remember, you can live in paradise forever.
Well, thank you so much, Joe, for those words of wisdom and also some insights. And again, I really appreciate you spending some time with us. I'm going to just hold on. We're going to wrap this up. So you're going to disappear for a few seconds, and then I want to catch up with you as we end this. And again, if you're joining us on other mediums, feel free to join us here on amazon.com/live. Thank you so much for being able to watch today. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty much here on Tuesdays and Fridays, being able to share what I can as it relates to smart technology, also book recommendations. And as you can see today, we have an author interview with Joe Peach Graves. Fantastic guy. Feel free to pick up his book. There are other books that as well that I added in the carousel that if you're interested in as it relates to mindset, as well as other areas that you're looking to grow or to learn, or maybe you're looking up some summer reading or spring reading, feel free to check them out. I will be back actually on Sunday. We're going to be doing a little bit of coffee talk. So if you're interested in the latest deals, smart technology products, or anything related to that as it relates to smart technology, do not forget to hit that follow button so you can be notified when I go live. And if there are ever any questions or anything I can do to help you as you are searching for your product, feel free to reach out to me. And I always get this messed up, but this over here, this way over here. If you look at me on any of these particular social media sites, I'm at Professor Tirado. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, depending where you're joining from. And I will hopefully look and see you on during the weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye.